Hey y'all, it's Liz. Excuse the way I look. Okay, I was helping Steve for a minute, help him do the wood flooring. I had to cut that short because I ain't like it too much. Being on my knees, it hurt my knees. Doing the floors, that is. Anyways, so I wanted to come to you today because I have something I wanted to go over. I have a new subby, and he had asked me, or she had asked me, I'm going to assume that it's a female. I'm not for sure though, because it didn't say. But anyways, that person wanted to know about, I did a video growing up black and half Japanese. And I was talking about how most of the negative stuff that I had went through when I was like in the 6th grade, and that's when I can really remember going through it, was from the girls, the black girls that went to the school that I went to. I mean, it was, it wasn't, it was called Patterson 6th Grade Center. And if you were in the 6th grade and you lived in any of the surrounding areas, basically you went to that school. But I got a lot of slack from the black girls there. And, you know, just kind of, okay, you know. My dad was military. And I don't want to sound kind of prejudiced, but it seems like the blacks in the military and the blacks in the civilian world were a little bit different to me. This is in the 6th grade, so don't get your panties in a rumble, okay? Because I know they're different, but they're the same. I know that because I used to run the streets as I got older, so I know what the deal is. So don't sit there and be like, oh, no, she didn't say that. Yes, I did say it. I did say it. Because that's the way it was here. Growing up in the military, my father being in the military, the blacks, we didn't call them African American or colored, it was blacks. The blacks in the Air Force, basically their way of life is a lot different than civilians that had no military. Not saying that. Okay, anyways, I'm not even going to go in there because I know some of y'all are going to get pissed off and be wanting to leave some dirty shit from me. Don't do that because it's not necessary, okay? I'm not downgrading anybody because, hell, my daddy's black. How about that? So, it's not that. I'm just saying I got a lot of slack from the black girls when I was in the 6th grade. In the 7th grade, there was a little bit, but I hung around a lot of different people. Hung around a lot of whites. I hung around a lot of blacks. I ran the streets. I ran in the hoods. I mean, my stomping ground, you know. So I'm kind of controversial, so I can mingle and mix with just about anybody, you know. But anyways, let me get back to this. And he had said, or she had said, my subby had said that he finds it hard to believe that living in the South, especially when I was living in Alabama, that I've never experienced racism. I'm not saying that I don't believe you, whatever, but he or my subby has experienced a lot of racism even to this day. And he is finishing up in high school as of now. Okay. I know anyways, okay, let me just say this. I did not grow up in Alabama, okay? I was born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, at Eglin Air Force Base. My dad got orders. We went overseas, da-da-da-da-da. Then we got stationed back at Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida. And that's where I basically grew up, is in Panama City. I moved to Alabama in the mid-'80s, okay? And I only lived there a few years. But I have to say, now, I dated in Alabama, in Dothan, Alabama, in Houston County. I dated several white guys. They're country. I'm talking country. I'm talking cowboy hats, cowboy boots, big trucks. They dip snuff. They had a coon dog. You know, I mean, real country boys. And I'm telling you, as God is my witness, I have never had to experience anything with as far as racism, not from my own kind. I'm saying the only racism I experience is from the black girls that didn't like me. I've never had a white man or Caucasian male ever come and say, oh, you fucking nigger and this and that. I ain't never been called a nigger. Okay? I honestly can't remember anybody calling me a nigger. I just, you know, so I never experienced it. I dated white guys that were from Ewell, Alabama. You know, Ozark, Midland City. I just never experienced. I worked in a country and western bar. I managed it for years. I was a bartender at a country and western bar where, you know, it was just, there was no blacks. I was the only colored spot in there. And I did that for years. For years. When I moved back to Panama City, I worked as a bartender at a place called Cat's Club. It's a biker bar. So, I mean, I have never experienced it. And maybe, and I'm not naive and my eyes are not closed. I always go on things with my eyes wide open. And I'm telling you, I've never experienced it. And not to say that my oldest brother hasn't. He's married to a white woman. They've been married, you know, 20-something years. As long as I have. As long as Steve and I have been married. But I'm telling you, now, he did tell me that one time, a white guy, an old white man had said something to him when he was over in Port St. Joe. And my brother kind of laughed and he said, I should have just whipped his fucking ass, but, you know, he was like 80-something years old. You expect that sometimes. And you know, my brother Wayne, his ex-wife is white. They had been married for years, been together for, you know, 17 years. And never had a problem. Now, he was military, so, and I think that was the main thing with me and Steve. Steve being in the Air Force, my dad being in the Air Force, and we traveling around and stuff. Panama City, we do have racism here. I'm not saying that we don't, because we do. There was racism in Alabama, I'm sure. You know, but I just never experienced it. I can go anywhere in this county. In this county with Steve. But then again, like I said, I grew up here. And I'm not saying that I was the most popular girl, but people know me. People know my family. They know my brothers, my older brothers, all three of my older brothers. And to this day, it doesn't matter. I could be clear across in Destin, and someone walk up and be like, are you Elizabeth Harrington? I went to school with you. Or I know you from so-and-so. You know? Yeah, so I've never had that problem. I'm sure at some point some old white couple has whispered, I can't believe that white guy is with that nigger. Now, they probably have said that. I'm sure they have. But the thing is, they've never said it where I could hear them. Okay? Because, you know, I think I would just be totally shocked. And so shocked that I would just go into whip-ass mode and beat the fuck out of them. I don't know. You know, I just never had that. I've never experienced that. Now, my mother, talking to my mother, who is Japanese, my father is black. She experienced that. Being married to a black man, when she first got to the United States, she said that she had to travel on a bus from Mississippi And I believe they were stationed somewhere in Mississippi at the time. She had to travel from Mississippi up to Philadelphia because that's where my aunt and uncles lived, and she was going to go stay with them. And my dad had sent her up there, and she told me, she said, you know, that because I was married to a black soldier, I had to sit in the back of the bus. I could not sit in the front or anywhere else. I had to sit in the very back with all the other blacks because my husband was black. She said that that's how it was at every stop, you know. And so, I mean, she experienced that. But I never have, and it's not that, oh, Liz is naive and she just doesn't, she's not living in reality. I live in reality every motherfucking day. It's just that I just never, no one's ever come at me and said, you know, fucking nigger, you're married to a white man, or telling Steve, you know, you cracker married to some nigga and you nigger loving, nah. No. Okay? I think times have changed to a point now where you can't just walk up to people like you did way back in the day and be like, yo, nigga, you know, we're going to string you up. No, because you're liable to get your ass shot. You know, you can't pull out a whip and beat nobody for picking, you know, making them go out and pick cotton and shit, because you're liable to get your ass killed. Now, like I said, I've never experienced it. Never. And I know you had asked also, I know that you said that you still, even to this day, you have teachers that dislike blacks. To be honest, I'm so sorry. I can't help you. I'm trying to think. You know, like I said, I've worked in country and western bars. I've worked in biker bars. I just never had that experience. People just always took to me. I don't know why. Maybe because they didn't know what the hell I was. You know, I am proud to say that my father is black. I have never denied it. Hell, you can look at my ass and see. You know, and sometimes when you hear me talking, I say something like, hey, kiss my motherfucking black ass. That's exactly what I mean. You know, and I know sometimes people say, well, because your father is black and your mother's Oriental, you are black. That's not the way I look at it. I, my friend, am other. My father is black. My mother is I was about to say white, is Japanese. I am half. I'm half black and half Japanese. I'm not a quarter. I'm not a fifth or whatever. I'm half. You know? So, just because my father is black does not mean that I have to go around going, I am black. No, I'm proud of who I am. I am other. I am other. So, you know, but like I said, my dad was, you know, my dad was from Georgia. My mom's from Japan. I just never had problems like that. I have a lot of black friends. I have a lot of white friends. I have a lot of Oriental friends. It's just a melting pot of lots of friends that I have. And I judge no one. I don't want no one to judge me. You know, if a black does something and it pisses me off, I'm a damn sure talk about it. Same with a white. Same with Oriental. It's, you know, I honestly can tell you. I know you said you're from Georgia. My father, who is from Waynesboro, Georgia, right outside of Augusta, Georgia. That's where my daddy was born and raised, in Waynesboro, Georgia. My uncles, I got an uncle and cousins who still live in between Waynesboro, Monticello, and Stone Mountain, Georgia. And I've got some that live up in Atlanta. Got lots of them that live in Sardis and Augusta. But then the majority of my dad's brothers and sisters live in Philadelphia. And they've been up there since like 1954. They've been up in Philly. So, I mean, and my cousins, I'm telling you, the ones from Atlanta and the ones from Waynesboro, they country. But when we get together, it's just like, you know, it's a reunion, man. And I know, now one of my cousins has told me that he had experienced some racial things in Atlanta. I'm like, damn, Atlanta's like 90% black. How that happen? But anyways, I'm just telling you that I just never experienced it. I know it's hard to believe. In this day and age, people go, what? Yeah. Even when I lived in Dothan, and I lived in Ozark, and I lived in Midland City, Alabama, didn't experience it. Dated white guys, just never... And it wasn't no, let me, you know, fuck you at night, not be seen when you're in daytime. It ain't none of that bullshit, because I didn't play that. You know, I mean, I would go, we'd go out to dinner, we'd go to the movies, we'd hold hands, you know, I just never experienced it. And I'm thinking now that I think back, it's probably because, excuse me, most of those white guys I dated were country, but they were also military. Duh. But I just wanted to throw that out there at you. I know you're like, this is hard to believe, but I'm going to tell you something. This day and age, everybody is mixed with something. There's something going through them that is not pure. You know, I'm proud to be black. I'm proud to be Japanese. I don't hide it. I don't try to sugarcoat it. I don't try to be something that I'm not. My dad's black, my mother's Japanese. I hang out, my best friends are from the country. I mean, deep in the country, you know. We go canoeing, we have bonfires. I mean, it's just, you know, I just do everything naturally. You know, I mean, I know some people are like, you canoe and you go to bonfires and you're black. Yeah, I do. And, you know, they have fishing holes where you just jump in and go swimming and stuff, you know, and I'm just me. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Sorry. I wish I did have some racism stories, but I really don't. But that's basically it. Now, like I said, my mother had a problem when she first came to the United States. As far as my children go, they're others because they're mixed, so they just go by other. They don't go by white or anything. They other, just like their mama. I'm other. I'm an other. Yeah. And I'm gonna, and you were right when you wrote this about being near the military base. You are absolutely right. You will see a lot of interracial couples where there's a military base, whether it's Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, you know, just you will see it. And when I say interracial, I mean interracial. I mean either someone's black married to an Oriental or they're white married to an Oriental. Because if you're white and you are married to an Oriental and you have children, they are biracial. A lot of you guys, I'm pretty sure there's some people that said, well, no, because I'm white and my wife's Japanese, my kids are white. No, they are not. They're biracial. Whether you want to believe it or not, they are. But, like I said, when you're around a military base, you will find a lot of interracial couples and biracial children. And that's probably what happened here, because we have Tyndall, we have Eglin, we have Herbert Field. There's some up in Montgomery. There's an Army base in Ozark. And like I said, you will find interracial marriages. You'll find biracial children. You know, I was up in at Pope, North Carolina. Pope Army Base. Pope Air Force Base. But it was on the Army base. Somebody help me remember what that Army base was. Fort Bragg. I saw a lot of mixed people. I was like, well, I was proud. I was happy. I was like, interracial couples, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's unite. Interracial couples unite today. But that brings me to another topic that I'm going to have to do, because someone had asked about, there was a young lady, she is Korean, and her husband is black, and she was asking me about having children and whether she should or not, and bring them into this world, because of the fact that there is a lot of racism. But, I mean, racism is alive and well here in the South. We all know it. It's alive and well in a lot of places. But the devil can't spoil our fun, you know. There's more people nowadays that are not with this white supremacy stuff than there is, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that's not with it. They're against it. A lot more now than there was, say, 50 years ago. You know, so I am truly sorry that you had to experience the racism, especially in Georgia. Like I said, I know it's here. My mother experienced it. My oldest brother has experienced it. I haven't. And I don't know why. Maybe because I really don't hang downtown like I used to. You know, back in the day I did, but I don't hang downtown. And most of the people that I know are retired military. People that I hang out with are retired military, or they had some military connection where they don't even look at that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that people in the military are not racism, because I'm sure there are some. But I've never experienced it. So that's what I wanted to tell you. I'm glad you wrote me, and I'm glad that you've enjoyed watching my videos. And, you know, hey, good luck to you in school this year. I believe this is your last year. You're finishing up. I think you're a senior this year. And let me tell you, the world's a wonderful place. Okay? Yes, like I said, racism is alive and well, but you can overcome it. We can go past that. You know, we can get past it. A lot of people have. Now I kind of wish I would have went through it. I mean, you know, I might. I'm only 40-something. I might. You know, but I think at this stage of my life, you know, I'm just not going to go down without a fight. So, you know, you call me a nigga if you want to. Those are fighting words. You call me a slant-eyed bitch, that's fighting words. You know, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good as I'm ever going to be right now. So, anyways, have a great one. Yeah, I think that's it. And this is my video response to you. And maybe you'll do one back to me, a video response. And then we could just talk back and forth. And then we can get some input from some of my other subbies who probably or might have went through something like this. Or maybe they've never experienced racism. You know? You can experience racism even within your own race. Remember that, because I did in the 6th grade. I was called all kinds of stuff. They talked about me really bad. But I overcome it. And I still see some of them girls to this day. You know, and be like, how you like me now? Alright, well, I'm fixing to go. I'm going to Mama's, because she's cooking tonight. She's making hamburger and french fries, homemade french fries. So, I'm going to go over there and eat. And, I kind of hope this answers some of your questions. Like I said, I just never had a problem with it. If my subbies want to jump in anytime, do so. Even if you're not a sub and you want to jump in, go ahead. I know I'm going to get a lot of probably negative feedback from some of these people who want to call me a nigga and this and that and this and that. And I'm going to tell you right now, fuck you. Fuck you. So before you go to writing, just know that I can delete your shit and just be like, fuck you. Alright, well, you guys have a great night. I'm fixing to go and eat. Deuces to you. Bye.